Hi, everyone. We are talking about a white rum from the United States today, and it's always interesting to see what America comes up with respect to their rums, because, as my friends Will Herking and John Gulla once said, there's a shitload of distilleries making rum, but not more than a handful or two of true rum making distilleries, which I think is absolutely true. Now, this is a rum called the Bayou, made by the Louisiana distillers, and it was founded by a gentleman called Tim and his brother Trey Little and their best friend, and they floated the idea in 2011 or thereabouts in a duck blind when they were hunting. They founded the thing in 2011. In 2013, they launched the brand, and they got themselves a pot still. They started to source sugarcane from a local sugar factory, not sugarcane, sorry. They sourced the molasses from a sugarcane processing factory in Louisiana that was reasonably close by. And they started producing rum. And apparently they did really well at this, which is perhaps not so surprising given that there is a thirst for decent quality stuff out there. Now, they do have a gold, and they do have a dark, and they have a reserve, and then this one here. But here's the thing. In 2016, a lot of the shares were bought by a company called SPI, which owns the Stolichne brand and based in Luxembourg. And by 2018, they bought out everybody else. So you could argue that this whole business about founding a company to make rum from Louisiana was not snake oil salesman kind of deal, but it was there to make money from the very get-go, which is to say, make something, see if you can spin it around as fast as you can and sell it for George Clooney money kind of thing, which I think is less than enthusiastic, because the distilleries that survive, the distilleries that make money, the distilleries that have a reputation to this day are the ones that have commitment to the cause, if you will. They really do enjoy what they do. The idea of selling out and just making oodles of money and retiring is really not something that happens in the first 3 or 4 or even 5 years. No, it takes generations sometimes for it to happen. Even Karen Hoskins, who started her thing with Montaigne in, what was it, 2012 or 2013 or whatever it was, she took quite a while and made a hell of a reputation for herself before she sold out to her own employees, which was really kind of great, right? Not quite the same thing as these jokers. Be that as it may, another issue that I thought was kind of weird is that this is a distillery in Louisiana, and there's sugarcane fields all around, yet they decided to go with blackstrap molasses as opposed to cane juice, which I would even imagine would have been a much better selling point and given them a much better reputation. So, be that as it may, this is supposed to be an unaged, molasses-based distillate that comes straight off of a pot still, is rested for 40 days, and then bottled. Right? And as far as I recall, yes, it is 40%. It is the Blanc, the white, Louisiana rum, blah, blah, blah. 100% copper pot still. Okay, I see no reason to doubt that. Let's just take it as that, right? The question then arises is, how good is it? Not a whole lot. In point of fact, this thing makes me doubt the whole business about it being rested for 40 days. There's literally no terroir here at all. There's absolutely nothing that distinguishes it from anything else. So you would expect, even if it comes from molasses, you would expect it coming off of a pot still, which basically means a lower ABV that you can bottle. 80% is about the highest you can reasonably hope for with a little bit of inexperience, right? You would have a turpentine and salt and all kinds of weird shit stuff that would make a Jamaican blush. None of that is here. None of it, right? You get some vanilla, you get some sort of very light watermelon and pears, you get some sort of sugar water stuff and vanilla. Where the fuck is vanilla coming from in something that's supposedly unaged, right? So there's that. So, and all of it is actually quite faint because you're not really getting a whole lot. Yeah, and it disappears so fast. Okay. No, sorry, it's sharp. It's a little bit bitchy. It's not as bad as it could have been under other circumstances. I think that overall the rum, for a white rum, isn't all that bad, but it reminds me of all those damn minis I used to buy when I was trying to put together a series of older rum reviews for the Romaniac series. There's literally so little here that it makes you wonder what the purpose of this thing is. Now, clearly the purpose is to put it in a daiquiri or a mix or mojito or something, and then Bob's your uncle and you out the door. But the truth is that there could have been more, and there isn't. And somehow it makes me suspect without any evidence, I have to admit that, without any evidence, that this is actually aged just the slightest bit to give it some taste, and then they filter it to white, in order to give it that unaged look that looks really nice in a glass, like, this one almost like water. But there's just so little here that it's kind of just vanishes. It's really quite a disappointing rum. And if I recall correctly, I think I scored this like about 71, 72 points, and quite frankly, that might have been overly generous. I'm not saying you should stay away from it. It depends on how your tastes bend. And if you like this kind of thing, and this is the stuff that's affordable in your neighborhood, by all means, go for it. Just know that there is better out there. And this is something of a travesty against white rums, even white rums made from the United States in the middle of a sugarcane producing state. I mean, it's just freaking ridiculous. All right. So my advice would be, if you have other options, go take them and just leave this thing on the damn shelf. That's pretty much as far as it goes. So yeah, it's a bit of a bitchy rant, but I hope you're not too offended by it. And we'll talk again next time.